curious. So you go through this process, right? You develop one of these tools, and then I presume you put out some type of like test effort, some test marketing to see if it gets traction. What does that initial test look like? Is that just like you're marketing through your personal pages? Is it kind of like a custom plan for each one of these tools? Like, what's that test phase look like for you? And then how do you determine like, oh, this could be successful, or I'm gonna kill this one and move on to something else?
So it's a good question. So my background is ads, running ads. So all of my projects that I launch have to have some sort of interest in ads, or have to have some sort of mechanism that would work with Facebook ads or TikTok ads or Google ads. And so before I invest any money, or before I get my 2 full-time devs working on any project, I do a lot of research to see how many people Google this a month, or how big is the target audience inside of Facebook ads that I can launch this project to. The other thing that's worked really well for these niche tests, or like these first initial tests for these niche products, is actually newsletter ads. So for influencer job board, I've allocated like $5,000 to find influencer newsletters and pay to sponsor them. So I'm trying to get in front of the initial core audience for every one of these projects as quickly as possible.
Right.
And then like you can tell really quickly if these projects have legs by just seeing whether people land on the website and then bounce, land on the website and click around. I put a bunch of analytics tools in the sites to see how far people scroll down the page, to see how much time people are spending on the site. For the Peggy, right? For the hirepeggy.com, the copywriting tool, I literally, the first test was running a newsletter ad to a group of Facebook ad marketers. And I got 400 people to click over from the ad to hirepeggy.com, and 200 of those people signed up for a free account. So I was like, oh, there's something there, right? Yeah. Like that's interesting. But B2B Heaven, I spent, I don't know, $500 in Twitter ads. I got a bunch of people to sign up for free accounts, but none of those people converted into paying customers. So then it's like, okay, do I lower the price? Do I email the people that sign up for free accounts and ask them why? Or does, you know, the idea for influencer job board come up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do that now, and then B2B Heaven just falls to the wayside. Or right. One day am I like, oh, I could put this on MicroAcquire, sell it for 10 or 20 grand. But each project kind of has its own litmus test, if you will. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's just trying to get in front of the niche audience as quickly as possible and seeing whether there's any traction there.
I love it. I want to talk a little bit more about the influencer job board. It's such like a huge space right now. I'm like very involved in this segment, just connecting brands and creators. There's a bunch of other people in the space, like the TikTok has their own creator marketplace. I'm curious how you think about like differentiating yourself, because I run through these same questions too. It's like, you know, if I'm trying to build a platform that helps connect brands and creators, what's going to be the difference from the TikTok creator marketplace or from the other, you know, you Google influencer marketing and you get 75 pages. How do you think about that?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you need one major thing that's going to differentiate you from the competitors, whether your industry is super niche or whether it's super big and you're a David going up against a Goliath. You need one thing that's really going to differentiate yourself. And for influencerjobboard.com, I actually think it's two things. Mm-hmm. I think number one, it's cost, because outside of the TikTok marketplace, there's no other platform that's relatively affordable for brands, right? Upfluence, IZEA, Grin, all these are like a minimum $1,000 a month or $5,000 a year. And if you're a Shopify store doing $10,000 a month and you want to find a couple influencers, but you have no idea how to start, you're not going to drop $5,000 a year or $1,000 a month into any one of these tools. Right. So my first kind of inclination that there's an opportunity here or there was realizing that there's no easy on ramp for early stage brands to work with influencers. It's really hard to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So at first I was like, oh, maybe the solution is a course. And that's how my brain works. I always first see the problem or the opportunity, and then my brain starts thinking, what different ways can I help, right? What different ways can I solve that problem? And then on the back end, how can I monetize it?